All right, y'all, first test tomorrow. You're gonna learn that I get really excited for tests. You may not, but I do. I get so excited because it's like game day to me. If you've been working hard, it's your chance to show how hard you've been working, to show what you know. So I get excited because you should be confident. You should be ready to ace this test. It's a really good feeling to know that you got this. So I believe in y'all. If you've been doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to do awesome on this test. Let me review a few things that you need to know with you. So the main topics you need to know. The first one is atomic structure. When we talked about atomic structure, you saw this word a lot. Subatomic particles. Subatomic particles means the 3 parts of an atom, or protons, neutrons, and electrons. So I'm going to show y'all a little trick. I do this every time I need to answer a question over subatomic particles. I make this little chart and it takes me less than 30 seconds. So the 3 subatomic particles, oh, my lines are ugly, but the 3 subatomic particles, and we know there's 3 things we need to know about them. We need to know their charge. Protons are positive. We need to know their location. Protons are in the nucleus. I'm just gonna abbreviate because I'm doing this for myself on my test. So it can be quick, it can be abbreviated. And the mass is 1 AMU. So you can abbreviate because you're doing this for yourself. It's just a quick little trick. Neutrons are neutral. They're in the nucleus. The mass is 1 AMU. Electrons are negative. They're in the energy levels, so I'm abbreviating EL, easy for me. And their mass is 0 AMU. So this is quick. I jot this down real quick before I even start the test, so that when I get to a question that asks me about the charge of neutrons, I don't mess up and say it's negative, because I check my chart and I know it's neutral or no charge. So this helps keep you from making careless mistakes. Okay, next topic, 8-man. Okay, if you know 8-man, you know 8-man, it's easy. The A stands for atomic number. Let's do 8-man for boron. So boron's atomic number, or the number on top, is 5. So atomic number is the number on top. For boron, it's 5. So that means boron has 5 protons and 5 electrons. They're all the same. The mass on the bottom is 10.8. So because this is 0.8, it's 5 or up, we're gonna round up to 11 minus the atomic number was 5, gives us 6 neutrons. So a question is not gonna tell you, draw 8-man. It's a multiple choice test. But if it asks you for the number of protons, electrons, or neutrons, that's why you do 8-man. You have to know when to use 8-man. You use 8-man if it asks you how many total subatomic particles does boron have? How many parts of an atom? It has 5 protons plus 5 electrons plus 6 neutrons. So total, it has 16 subatomic particles. Okay, next is Bohr models. Remember, Bohr models look like this, it might say the number of protons in the center, might say 16 protons, it might not. I can't count these protons because I don't even know which ones are protons, but I can count the electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 electrons. So as soon as I see that, I'm thinking, okay, if there's 10 electrons, well, according to 8-man, there's also 10 protons. That's 10. It's ugly, but that's a 10. And the atomic number is 10. So now I know this is atomic number 10. So I'm looking at my periodic table. Okay, atomic number 10 is neon. So if it asks me what element it is, then I'm just counting the electrons or the protons to figure out the atomic number. If it asks me what the mass is, I just look at neon on the periodic table. Neon's mass on the periodic table is 20.1, so 20. There's a few other things that it could ask you. When I'm looking at this, I know automatically that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 valence electrons. So that means it is in group 18 or 8A. What do we know about how reactive group 18 is? They are not reactive, they are stable. So just by looking at this Bohr model and counting the valence electrons, I know this element doesn't react. I also know that there are 1, 2 energy levels. So I know it's in period 2. This Bohr model tells me all of these things. Okay, the last thing I want to look at is the periodic table. So if I'm using a periodic table on a test, there's a few things I want to do. I want to label valence electrons first. That's important. So group 1 has 1 VE, 2 VE. Remember, we skip here. 13 or 3A has 3 VE, 4 VE, 5 VE, 6 VE, 7 VE, 8 VE. And then remember, helium is special. So helium is only 2 VE. Okay, so now I've at least labeled my valence electrons. I'm also going to label that this period has 1 energy level. This period has 2 energy levels, 3 energy levels, and I'm going to stop there because you get the idea, and that would be a lot of circles. And then there's one more thing. I lied, there's a few more things. Group go up and down. Periods are side to side. And we know that this whole section over here is our metals. And then on the staircase, we have our metalloids. And over here, on the right, we have our non-metals. Okay, that's most of what I need to know but there's something else important. We need to know which groups are the most reactive. So remember, the very most reactive is group 1 and group 17 or 7A. So above group 1, y'all don't talk about me, but I'm gonna try to draw a little fire flame. That's a fire flame. It represents that group 1 is very reactive. Every element in group 1 reacts with water. So my fire flame represents a reaction. And group 17 or 7A also gets a fire flame. So that's maybe a little bit better of a fire flame. They're also all very reactive. The last important one is group 18. Remember, group 18 is stable. So I like to give them a little crown. The reason I give them a crown is because they're stable, so they don't need to react with another element. They don't need to mess with anybody else. Group 18's elements, they already have a full valence electron shell. They're stable. They're not going to react with anyone else. So they're kind of like royalty, like they have a crown on their head. They don't need anybody else, so I give them a crown. So this group is stable. It's non-reactive. Group 17 is very reactive. Group 1 is very reactive. And every other group is just reactive. All right, good luck today. Get ready for your test tomorrow.